Have you ever thought you would love to glow like a Christmas tree? Well, then this is probably the right build for you. Joke aside, welcome everyone. So this will be a Magicka Sorc PvP build for the Shadow of the Hist DLC. It is especially powerful in Imperial City because we use some really special sets. So I really recommend playing this in a small group because you will be a lot more protected and it's basically impossible to kill you. Now just to show you off, like I really recommend one of your group members using aggressive Warhorn because it gives you more max magical health and stamina, and just to show you what you actually can get. Like it's completely out of hand. 70k Magicka, 34k health, 19k stamina. And this aggressive Warhorn holds for like 30 seconds. It's not a short buff. Then we have still decent spell damage and magic recovery. The playstyle of the build is really difficult, so it will take a lot of practice to master that kind of build. Then I also recommend being a vampire. I'm not a vampire because this is a template character and it only has level 1. If you're a vampire you will get another 10% magical recovery, which means you could use another spell damage glyph instead of a magical recovery glyph. Because you don't really need that much magic recovery. We have tons of other ways to restore Magicka. We also use the Mage Mundus Stone and we are using health and max Magicka buff food. Now the most important mechanic is our shields. You see, like when I shield myself I have a 32k shield, plus even my pet gets a shield when I use this here. It's completely insane, and you know, like shields cannot be critted and they have 0 resistances, so it doesn't matter how much spell resistance or physical resistance or critical resistance we have, because as long as we have a shield up it's 0 anyway. The shields don't have any resistances. Really important, you need to know that. I wanna show you the optimal gear setup that you actually would need to get to those stats I have. Then I will show you the champion points distribution, which is also really important. And then afterwards the skills plus the passives. After that I will do some explanation about the mechanics behind the build, because there is a ton of stuff you need to know to play this build. And at the very end I will show you another alternative gear setup that you also can play outside Imperial City or also inside Imperial City but without this set. Because I really recommend starting with the alternative setup to learn how to play the Magicka Sorc, and once you are really good with it then you can use this set. Because as you see, this set, it's completely insane. We get 7k health, Magicka and stamina. So what do we need to use to get that? So while you have a 4x Telvarstone multiplier, this effect is increased by 600%. So a 4x Telvarstone multiplier is basically you need to carry 10k Telvarstones with you to get those 7k stamina, Magicka and health. And believe me, if you're in a group, 1 or 2 Sorcs with this playstyle, you're not gonna die, okay? You're not gonna die. Now, the next set I'm using Necropotence. So this set drops in Hel Ra Citadel with Shadow of the Hist DLC in both normal and veteran mode. And before I forget it, Imperial Physique, you get this from the Telvar merchant. For me it's, for example, here. You can buy those boxes. You need to buy boxes and then it's RNGesus that decides what trait you get. Now I tested Divine versus Infused traits and Infused came out on top. it gives you more Max Magicka than Divines buffing the Mage Mundus Stone. Again, make sure to have infused. Divine is also nice, okay, but don't use anything else. We don't want impenetrable, we don't want reinforced, simply because again, shields cannot be critted and they have zero resistances. So extra physical resistance or extra crit resistance doesn't help us anything. Now you see Necropotence, it gives us 3 magical bonuses plus the 5-piece bonus. When we have a pet active, we use Max Magicka. And you see like this is kind of a pet build because the pet's damage scales of Max Magicka. So they deal a ton of damage, believe me. Now we have free jewelry, also Imperial Physique. Necropotence also has jewelry, so it really doesn't matter what you use. Then you see I have Arcane Trait plus 1 spell damage and 2 Magicka recovery. Again, if you think you have too much recovery, you can always put another spell damage glyph. Then the next gear piece, we use the Master's Lightning Stuff, which drops in Dragonstar Arena in the veteran mode. So it would be nice to have it, but it's not the world's end if you don't have it, because you see it gives me another 1k maximum Magicka, which is really nice. Plus of course try to get Sharpened Trait, which is really important, and you will deal a lot more damage. Now you see the gear is really difficult to get. Probably the easiest to get is Imperial Physique, because you can buy it in guild stores. But then again, there is not a lot, so you might actually need to buy it from the Telvar merchant. Necropotence from Hel Ra. It also can be sold in guild stores, so maybe you get lucky. The only thing you really need to get on your own is the lightning stuff, the master ones, because it's bound on pickup and it only drops in the last chest from Dragonstar Arena veteran mode, which will be champion points rank 160 next patch. Now to the skills. So here it's where it gets interesting and where the variety comes up a little bit. Let me reslot overload bar. We have 3 bars with this build, that is really important. And as you can see, we have 64k max Magicka. You can adjust this. At the moment I'm only using volatile familiar. If you want another pet, which I actually do recommend, you can remove Bound Aegis. I know we lose 8% max Magicka, but the Twilight Matriarch is a lot more beneficial, and we still have 56.5k max Magicka, like on this bar, and on the other bar 60k. So now pets, or let's start here. First off, like this is our main damage bar. I mean, like where are the damage skills? Okay, anyway, let's get started first here. Hardened Ward, our main shield skill. It also shields both our pets. We get 18k shield and the pets still get 13k. Completely insane. Inner Light gives us 5% more max Magicka, plus it reveals Night Blades, plus it gives us an Empower buff here. On the next attack you get 20% damage boost. You could slot something else if you want, but I like the extra crit we get, and the Empower is really strong. Then we use Streak, so we also can reveal Night Blades with that by just when they cloak, just streak through them. And Streak also is a nice ability to stun, to CC multiple enemies, and it does actually really nice damage, as you can see. 6.6k damage, which is really strong. Now we have the pets. As you know, pets have to be slotted on both sides, which kind of handicaps us a little bit. Anyway, let's take a closer look at them. The pets are really strong. So you see, I can command my pet, and when I press the button it deals 6.2k shock damage every 2 seconds for 4 seconds, and the last pulse stuns the enemy. So when I click this, it does like this. And the last one stuns. It's so powerful. And then the Twilight. So this one has a really strong heal. It's basically stronger than Breath of Life. That's how strong it is. Now it disappeared, lol. Ah, here it is. So if you are in trouble healing, that's why I recommend using the Matriarch. If you are not used to shield spam too much, then you can heal yourself with that a lot. And it heals both pets. So you have this dude dealing damage and this dude healing, and this one also has an attack. Let me show you. And you see both pets are attacking. So both pets deal damage, and the damage is not low, believe me. Now, next bar, Harness Magicka. Another strong shield gives us a 12k shield, and every time we get hit by a spell we restore. You see, we restore 2.2k Magicka, really strong. Then Elemental Drain. So this helps us debuffing the enemy. You see, it gives Major Breach, which reduces the spell resistance, and every time we use a skill, like a elemental skill, we restore Magicka. So that's also another way to return Magicka. Now Daedric Prey. We use this morph because we have pets, and you see, while the curse is active, your pets deal an additional 55% damage to the target, except your Storm Atronach, which only deals an additional 40%. That brings me to the next point. You can use Shooting Star. It hits completely insane like the damage, but you also could use the Storm Atronach, because if you have 3 pets active, and you basically don't even have to do damage, you just can keep your shields up and like debuff the enemy, put the curse on him, and the dude it's just too strong. Gonna die. Now the last bar, our overload bar. So here we are using Power Surge, which is one of our heals, plus we get the spell damage buff. Then we have mines, which deal a ton of damage, 10k per mine. It's insane, like you can cover yourself so hard in here. And if you have the pet active, it deals also more damage. It's just insane. Then I'm using Shuffle, simple because the dodge chance is really strong. You don't need it, you can put something else here. And again, like, I prefer the Matriarch rather than the Bound Aegis. I mean, try to get through the mines and the pets. I can always shield myself, you know, like I'm not taking damage. Now, that's about the skills, what we should use. Now, let's see, like my main attack is a heavy attack actually, of the shock stuff. So let's check the passives, why is it so strong? So first off, every time we kill a dude we get 3.6k Magicka. Then reduces the time it takes to charge a heavy attack by 10%, which is also nice. And then here now, so the last text, fully charged shock heavy attacks damage nearby enemies for 127% of the damage done. So all your heavy attacks are actually AoE damage. So just to showcase you, those two dudes, when I do heavy attack, both get a ton of damage. It deals really, it's insane how much damage they do. And we all know lightning stuff heavy attacks cannot be dodge rolled. So people dodge rolling, you can keep heavy attacking. And as we have 40 points into tenacity, in champion points 3, we restore a ton of max of magicka while heavy attacking. From time to time keep reapplying the pet skills, shields, keep the curse on the enemy up, and the dude is gonna get wrecked so hard. Like it's insane what you can do with this build. So yeah, you have seen, like, you have to do a lot of bar swapping and all that stuff, like keep the pet skills up. It's really not easy to play the build and to get used to. You need to keep the Daedric Prey on the enemy, you need to keep Elemental Drain on the enemy, and you need to try to keep up Harness Magic. But you have seen, like, the pets, they didn't even die from the boss's damage, although the boss hits pretty damn hard, and I stayed at the 100% max magicka all the time, simply because I always heavy attack. And in PvP, of course, you want to use Streak to stun the enemies from time to time, but believe me, if they see you, they will just run away anyway. Alternative sets that you can use. There is basically two choices. So instead of Imperial Physique, you could use Elegant set, the Elegance set, which gives you 20% more damage on light and heavy attacks, and we do a lot of heavy attacks, so we benefit a lot from it. Or you could use Infallible Aether, which is also really nice. Your fully charged heavy attacks do 882 more damage and puts minor vulnerability on the enemy, increasing their damage taken by 8%. You also could combine Infallible Aether together with Elegant Sash if you want, if you don't have Necropotence yet. I will make sure to put those setups all on my website, alcasthq.com/evocation. Okay, that's it. Remember, before you play with the physique set, make sure to get used to the playstyle. It is not easy, it's a really difficult playstyle, but once you know how, it's completely insane what you can pull off. So, if you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Cheers. Have high mobility and are super fast. Believe me, it is really hard to catch us. It's really crazy. This setup is unique to Stem Sorc, so it will not work on any other class as good as it will work on a Stem Sorc.